Dangerous women you must avoid. Red flags men miss. She seems like the woman you've been waiting for your whole life. That beautiful smile stops you in your tracks. Those warm eyes look straight into your soul. Her laugh feels like sunlight after years of rain. From the very first conversation, she asks about your childhood, your biggest fears, the dreams you're almost afraid to say out loud, and she actually listens, really listens. She remembers every tiny detail you share. When you open up about something that hurt you years ago, tears roll down her cheeks and she pulls you close, whispering that no one has ever understood her the way you do. Your phone blows up with messages from friends. Bro, she's a unicorn. Your mom calls you crying happy tears, saying she's the daughter she always wanted. Your dad pulls you aside and says, "Son, don't screw this up." Even strangers smile when they see you two together. You walk around with your chest puffed out because for the first time in your life, you feel like you finally won at love. 6 months later, you're sitting in your car outside your own house at 2 a.m., engine off, hands trembling on the steering wheel, afraid to go inside because you genuinely don't know which version of her is waiting behind that door tonight. Your heart is pounding. Your stomach is twisted into knots. You replay every single conversation from the last 3 days in your head, trying to figure out exactly what you said wrong this time. What invisible line you crossed without realizing. You feel crushing guilt for things you're not even sure you did. You can't remember the last time you slept more than 3 hours straight. You can't focus at work. Your friends say you look like you've aged 10 years. You stand in the bathroom mirror and don't recognize the hollow-eyed, anxious, beaten-down man staring back. And the most terrifying part of all, she has never once raised her voice. She has never hit you. She has never cheated that you know of. She never did anything you could take to the police or show your friends as proof. She just used subtle, invisible, surgical, psychological manipulation so smooth that she destroyed your mind piece by piece while convincing you the entire time that you were the one destroying her. This is exactly how the most psychologically dangerous women on earth operate. They don't walk in with neon warning signs flashing toxic. They don't announce their damage. They come wrapped in softness, vulnerability, and what feels like the deepest connection you've ever had. They carry decades of unhealed trauma, unresolved pain, shame, rage, and inner chaos they have zero intention of ever facing on their own. Instead of doing the hard psychological work themselves, they transfer every last drop of their damage straight into your nervous system like a slow-acting virus. And because you are a good man, because you have a good heart, because you were raised to protect women and fix problems and be the rock, you open the door wide and let the infection in. You genuinely believe love means absorbing her pain. You believe being a real man means carrying her load, no matter how heavy it gets. But every single day you carry it, you suffer deeper and deeper psychological damage while she walks around lighter, happier, and more in control than ever. These women are absolute masters of covert psychological manipulation. They study your goodness the way a sniper studies a target. They weaponize your empathy, your strength, your protective instincts, and your desire to be the hero. They don't want an equal partner. They want a human landfill for everything rotting inside them that they refuse to clean up themselves. From the very first deep conversation, she starts the transfer. She tells you about the father who abandoned her, the mother who criticized her, the exes who cheated and lied and broke her into a million pieces. She cries in your arms for hours. She says you're the first person who has ever made her feel safe. You feel 10 feet tall. You feel chosen? What you don't realize is that she's not opening her heart to connect with you. She's opening a pipeline to download decades of psychological poison straight into your mind. Every childhood story, every tearful breakdown, every triggered reaction is another megabyte of her trauma being uploaded into your operating system. Slowly, silently, invisibly, Her anxiety starts feeling like your anxiety. Her depression starts feeling like your depression. Her chaos becomes your new baseline. This is full-scale psychological colonization, disguised as the most intimate relationship you've ever had. The most diabolical part of this, psychological manipulation, is how it turns you into your own jailer. You start believing that if you just loved her harder, listened longer, sacrificed more, stayed up one more night talking her down from the ledge, she would finally heal and everything would be perfect. You become completely addicted to feeling needed. She becomes completely addicted to being rescued. You both swear up and down that this is true love, when it is actually an invisible form of psychological abuse that carves permanent scars into your mind, your body, and your future ability to trust. These women wage war with weapons you can't see and can't block. Their favorite is constant projection. They take every single quality they hate about themselves, every dark impulse they refuse to own, and they dump it onto you like radioactive waste, then punish you for carrying it. When she screams that you're selfish, she's projecting the greed she feels but will never admit. When she cries that you're emotionally unavailable, she's describing the fortress she built around her own heart years ago. When she accuses you of trying to control her, she's deflecting the iron grip she already has around your entire life. You spend every waking hour defending yourself against crimes you never committed. Every conversation becomes a courtroom where the charges keep changing and you're guilty until proven otherwise. This non-stop psychological attack slowly erodes your grip on reality, your self-worth, your memory, and your sanity until you're walking around in a fog wondering if you actually are the monster she says you are. Some women have perfected the dark art of weaponized victimhood to an almost supernatural level. They present themselves as the most fragile, wounded, perpetually hurt creatures on earth. Every ex was abusive. Every friend eventually betrayed her. The world itself is out to get her. Your natural masculine instinct to protect and provide kicks into overdrive and becomes the perfect cage. The second you try to set any boundary, she collapses into tears and reminds you of everything she's already survived. How could you abandon her too? How could you hurt her the same way everyone else did? She uses her past trauma like an unbreakable get-out-bove jail-free card against any accountability in the present. This is tactical victimhood, one of the most powerful forms of psychological manipulation ever invented. It flips your greatest strength, your protective nature, into your greatest weakness, and locks you in a prison built from your own compassion. Then there are the emotional parasites who don't want love. They want a 24/7 energy supply. They position themselves as tragic, broken souls who could be absolutely incredible if only someone loved them enough to finally put them back together. You see the goddess buried under all the pain, and you dive in headfirst. Convinced you're the man who will finally help her rise, you pour years of your life, your money, your sleep, your dreams into her healing. But healing would end the entire parasitic arrangement. If she actually got better, she wouldn't need you as her full-time emotional feeding tube anymore. So she makes sure she never gets better. Every time she takes 2 steps forward, she deliberately triggers herself 3 steps back. Your love doesn't heal her, it feeds her. Your efforts to save her only deepen her dependency and speed up your total psychological burnout until you're a hollow shell still trying to give from an empty tank. Some women are 2 completely different people, depending on who's watching. In public, she's the sweetest, most caring, most spiritually evolved woman anyone has ever met. Everyone falls in love with her. Your friends tell you you're the luckiest man alive. Your family practically adopts her. Behind closed doors, she turns into a cold, critical, calculating controller who dismantles your confidence with surgical precision. When you finally work up the courage to speak up, she smiles sweetly and says, "Baby, everyone on earth thinks I'm an angel. Maybe the problem is you." She uses her perfect public mask as a weapon to make you question your own sanity. This is psychological isolation through advanced social manipulation, leaving you completely alone with damage that no one else on earth can see or will ever believe. Others cannot survive 5 minutes of inner peace because calm forces them to face the screaming chaos inside, so they manufacture constant external chaos instead. One day your soulmate's planning a future together. The next day she's threatening to leave because you bought the wrong brand of coffee. 1 hour she's telling you you're the love of her life. The next hour she's telling her friends you're emotionally abusive because you needed 2 hours to yourself. There is always a crisis. There is always a fire. There is always some new emergency that requires your immediate presence and total focus. Your nervous system lives in permanent red alert mode. This manufactured drama is a deliberate, psychological control tactic that keeps you too exhausted and distracted to notice the larger pattern of manipulation that is systematically destroying your life. Some women treat your personal boundaries like criminal offenses. To them, real love means total access, no privacy, no separate life, no individual choices. Your phone is her phone. Your free time is her free time. Your friends are threats that need to be eliminated one by one. She shows up unannounced, reads your messages, makes major decisions for both of you, and when you dare to push back, she collapses into tears and asks how you could treat her. This way, after everything she's been through, every single boundary you try to set becomes proof that you never really loved her. This is systematic psychological boundary violation that slowly erases every trace of autonomy until your entire existence revolves around keeping her comfortable. The guys are operating on a whole different level of darkness. They don't just lie. They rewrite reality itself in real time. You heard her say something vicious 5 minutes ago, and she looks you dead in the eye and says it never happened. You have text messages proving she promised one thing and did the complete opposite, and she convinces you that you're misremembering or taking things out of context. She keeps detailed, mental spreadsheets of every mistake you've ever made, but develops total amnesia about her own destructive behavior. This is textbook psychological gaslighting, designed to make you 100% dependent on her version of truth, while your own grip on reality dissolves completely. Some women practice emotional terrorism, holding the entire relationship hostage with threats of self-harm, suicide, public smear campaigns, or total emotional shutdown the moment you step even slightly out of line. Others commit slow identity theft, quietly eliminating every friend, hobby, dream, personality trait, and future plan that doesn't perfectly serve their insecurities, until you wake up one day and realize you've become a hollowed-out extra in someone else's movie. Many of them actively sabotage your healing the moment you start to wake up. The second you book a therapy appointment, start working out again, or open a self-help book, they sense the threat to their control and escalate every manipulation tactic in the playbook. They manufacture emergencies that force you to cancel therapy. They pick fights that drain the energy you were going to put into growth. They cry that you're changing and abandoning them. A stronger, clearer, healthier version of you is their worst nightmare because it ends. The psychological power they've spent months or years building. They move terrifyingly fast in the beginning, love bombing within days, I love you within weeks, future faking about marriage and kids before you've even met each other's families. That speed isn't passion, it's psychological urgency to lock you in before you see behind the mask. They isolate you gradually with subtle criticism of your friends and family until you're only surrounded by people they control. They start with tiny reality distortions that grow into full-blown gaslighting. They recruit flying monkeys who parrot their narrative and dismiss yours. They create financial handcuffs, shared leases, joint debt, sometimes even children. So leaving becomes expensive and complicated. And the moment you finally try to heal, they unleash every weapon they have to drag you back into the psychological prison. they spent so long constructing. Here's the brutal truth. Most men die without ever hearing. These women are rarely calculating villains twirling mustaches in the dark. Most are deeply unconscious, operating entirely from unhealed wounds, unresolved trauma, and unintegrated shadow parts they will defend with their last breath. They genuinely do not see the psychological damage they cause because they lack even the most basic self-awareness required to recognize their own patterns. That unconsciousness, combined with your consciousness, your empathy, your strength, and your desire to help, makes you the perfect target. Your greatest qualities become the exact entry points they use to colonize and destroy you from the inside. You cannot love them into healing. You cannot sacrifice enough to fill the black hole inside them. You cannot fix someone who profits on every level from staying broken. The only power you have, the only thing that actually works, is ruthless recognition and ironclad protection of your own mind. Real love does not require psychological damage as the price of admission. Real love does not demand that you become smaller, weaker, and more broken to prove you're worthy. Real love does not leave you confused, exhausted, and questioning your own sanity every single day. If every single word of this just punched you in the chest, if your stomach dropped so hard you felt it in your feet, if something deep inside you is screaming, "This is my life right now," then you need to stop everything and listen to that voice. That is your mind, your body, your nervous system, and your future self begging, screaming, pleading with you to wake up before one more ounce of permanent psychological damage is done. Subscribe right now and smash that notification bell, because every single week I expose these covert psychological manipulation tactics in raw, unfiltered detail. Tactics that have already saved thousands of men from decades of silent torture disguised as love. Share this video with every brother, every friend, every son who still has a chance to protect himself, because the most psychologically dangerous women are almost always the ones who seem the most caring, the most vulnerable, the most perfect on the surface. True protection begins with brutal awareness, and brutal awareness begins right here, right now, in this exact moment. Do not let another sunrise find you carrying someone else's psychological poison. Your mind, your peace, your power, and the man you were born to become are counting on you to see the truth today and never, ever look away again.